Because the tech stuff, you can learn it, Charles.
Right.
You can learn all the tech stuff. All the stuff that you talked about, virtual reality, you can learn it. Young people can learn it.
You want to know what blew me away the other day? I want to tell you that blew me away. I was in the theater, and I put the glasses on. It looked like I was in the movie itself. Freaked me out.
You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
This is technology.
Yeah, that's...
And this is all computer generated.
Yep. Right.
Couldn't believe that.
And these young people need to be exposed to that. So that's really our mission. That's what that mission is about. We want to continue to help young people understand there is an avenue for them, either through education, going to post-secondary, computer science major, but also the employment pathway.
Well, a lot of people really want to, but there's not that many people like you out there.
Well, we got to clone myself. I don't know how.
Seriously. You know, we're looking at the fact that we need more leaders like you in the inner cities.
I'm not a leader. I'm just someone that cares about young people, Charles.
You're an example.
Well,
you're a positive example. And that's the first thing, you know, when some of these kids get in trouble, they look for somebody who's a positive example.
We're trying.
You're doing it.
We take everyone.
You want to, let's talk about
oh yeah,
the fireball over there.
It's her turn now to shine.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce you to Mari Medrano, and I've been working with Mari for about 1.5 years.
Oh,
She'll
really?
tell you her story, which I believe is very powerful for you, for Gina, and all the wonderful listeners out there for this wonderful show.
You know, this is one of the things I like. I can just sit back and cruise when you're here.
Don't give me the mic. Do not give me the mic.
There you go.
All right. So, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much for the hospitality. I've been working with Leo for about 2 years. And
Yeah, speak up a little bit, okay? Just a little. There you go.
I've been working with Leo for about almost 2 years. And it was the best decision that I could have made. And also, career-wise, positive-wise, motivation-wise, he's always been there every step of the way. I couldn't have a better influence in my life, especially growing up in the Bay Area.
How old are you?
I am 24.
I thought you were like 17, 18, 19.
No, I wish I could go back to those ages, right?
Don't we all? So tell me, where are you going with all this?
I am going with this so coming up from where I came from, also my parents were immigrants. I came from a really, really big family. And so my mom didn't really know about this country very much, or how to approach it, how to be successful, or what to do, or didn't have money for college, didn't have any positive role models growing up in their neighborhoods, looking up to anybody. I just knew what I didn't want to turn into. Having a lot of friends, you know, you either, growing up in high school and stuff, you either end up on drugs, drop out, or dead, or incarcerated. It's usually the stats for our people, our minority people, and that's not okay. We need people like Leo. We need people to be a positive motivation. And you can do this. Put your mind to it. You will be successful. And I think that's where, when he spoke to me like that, I felt it in my heart, like, wow, this person doesn't even know me, but he believes in me. So ever since then, I was like, I'm sticking with you. I believe in what you're preaching. Do you have faith in me? I'm going to put faith in myself as well. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to show you that I can do this. And it's a win-win. I mean, it's a win story for him. A work of art that he did for me, make that pathway for me, motivated me, and then it's also a winning situation for myself because I'm the one doing it, right?
How does success make you feel?
Success makes me feel great. It feels great, and even when Leo hits me up anytime, I can be middle of work. I'm like, I gotta step out for a second. Let me speak. It's just like he's my dad calling me, you know. I mean, he's great. I never refuse to work with them, and I always tell him, hey, let me know when you're doing corporate visits again. I always want to go. You know, I've always liked everything that he does, and all the partnership that he does also with the corporate visits and companies. It's great meeting people and getting connections. And I wouldn't make it this far if I didn't open my mind to it.
So where do you think you're going?
Right now, I have a job at USF, the University of San Francisco, and it's a private university. I am an IT field technician, level 2, there right now, and I just started about.
Really?
Yeah, I did. I just started about a few months ago, actually. I love my job. I completely love it. They support me even being out here. Also supporting back to where I came from or where I got my ways to get where I'm at. And also they support you for free education as well, so which is going to be my main goal.
The word free just rings a bell, doesn't it?
That's what I say to you. Our program is free. And all Maddie had to do was show up.
Wow.
And get it. You have
Get
to.
it.
My biggest motivation, I guess, go-to sentence I always like to say is, if you want something very bad, you speak it into existence. I will get it. I will be there. And I think that's what happened for me ever since I got my job. I was, even when I seen that opening, I went in and I knew, I want to work here. I'm going to make it happen. And I did. I surely did. And it was great. I had a lot of people support me on the way there.
Planting that vision in people's minds and watching it grow is very exciting. It's fulfilling. That's the word I'm trying to put in there. Am I right?
That's the word that allows me to get up every morning, to come to Deaf Mission, to open the doors of our tech center, to see their faces when they walk in, to see their faces when they leave, to see them coming in when there is no program and they're in the lab working on their projects. When we communicate through a Slack channel, when they text me, I can go on and on, Charles. But primarily it's their opportunity. I'm here to present that opportunity to them. That's my job. That's what I believe I'm here for. And I'm gonna connect you to that opportunity. And Maddie, it's just like a perfect example. She was exposed to those opportunities. She'll be like, Leo, where you going next month? Leo, where you going next week? And I will be like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going there. You want to come along? Sure. Oh, Maddie, I'm going to this event. You want to come by? Sure. Like even 48 hours ago, Maddie, want to come to the show? Sure. Just let my supervisor know. But also those supervisors see Maddie succeeding. Those tech companies like University of San Francisco and the technology division are also making sure that Maddie stays engaged. That Maddie sees herself potentially becoming an IT director, a CIO, a CTO. They see her talent, and now the journey is in her hands. The ball's on the court.
How do you feel when you cut through that mystique that the street is better than what you're doing?
I remember one of my previous CEOs, Ray Ramsey from One Economy Corporation, said to me one day when I was traveling to Chicago, he said, Leo, you have a mojo, and we need that mojo in underserved communities. I just don't know what it is, Charles, but I can talk to young people and I can get them excited. I don't know what it is. I'm old school, man. I'm almost 50 years old. But when I talk to young people, I keep it real. Because I grew
They
up.
can see through you. You know that.
Yes, they can.
If you're phony, they can
Oh,
look
yeah.
just like your glass. They
Yep.
can look right in your heart.
And I always challenge them to do that. I always do. Because I believe that they're going to be the next Charles, the next Gina, the next Leos. That's what we need to believe in. That's what they need.
You know what? This program, Thoughts with Leo Sosa, and we're talking about Jamestown. We're talking about young people. We're talking about movers and shakers developing in our society and in our economy. We're talking about people getting out there and doing things. You want to put some numbers out where you are, and talk a little bit about your vision. And you're saying to me, I want to bring on as many young people as I can bring on. And I think you can do it. You've done it in the past, and new ventures are always interesting. New people. And this is what growth is all about. And we grow. When we become stagnant, we just do not grow good. And here we are, still growing. This is 3 years almost.
This is 3 years since the first time we talked.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And you always have believed in me. And
Oh,
I always
yes.
believe in your show.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I was telling people on the air before you came that when I was hitchhiking the country when I was 16, everybody took me under their wing. And this is what I like to do right now. I'm 74, you know that? And here I am looking at the same way of life. 60 years later, people talking to people, people taking people under their wings. You know, it's not so much as today as it was yesterday, but it's, I mean, you're an icon in my book. You know, how did you find?
How did I find Mari?
Yeah.
It's a great story. Why don't you let her share with you how she found me? I mean,
Okay.
that's really what this whole point is, because 2 years now, she's working in tech, right?
Right.
But that journey was not easy. But I think the first time we interacted, I'm pretty sure she can tell you how that happened.
Yes, I actually, when I met Leo, he was actually working with a fellow person that I had worked previously with. So I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, hey, you know, I'm taking this program. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I had just seen an email for that. I don't know how he got my email. I have no idea. But I got this email, and I remember staring at this email, and I was like, this sounds quite interesting. And I was like, huh. What really got me was, do you want to make, what was it? I think 50 or 60,000 a year in the tech industry.
That gets him, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really
Oh
does.
boy, you put figures like that on. I'm thinking, oh my
I
God.
gotta deliver the message, right? So the message
that's
is
a
going to get
message,
these
isn't
young
it?
people to be at that table
Yeah, young people making 60,000 a year, they can do it.
Yeah,
with their skills.
yeah,
The sky's the limit.
correct. Yeah.
Dang it.
So that right there, I've been always money motivated my whole entire life. My favorite color is green. So it was really eye catching at the time, and I was so tired of all these random jobs I was getting. So I was just I don't really like to stay in the office. I didn't like what I was doing, working for big corporate companies, and you know they don't care about the little fishes.
No,
you
they
know?
don't.
So it caught my eye, and I actually, when I seen my friend, I seen Leo, and Leo seen me talking to him and kind of asking him questions about the program. So Leo's hooked me up right there, and he tells me, "Hey, you're interested?" I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to know a little bit more." Okay, good. How about Monday morning? Come back. I'll give me your
Just
email.
like that.
Just like that. Just
Wow.
like that. Gave him my email.
Spontaneity. Is that a good word?
Uh-huh. Gave me shoot me an email with the Google Calendar, and I was already compromised to go. I'm like, okay. And it was out here in San Francisco, and I was commuting from Richmond, so I was like, let me go out there and see what Leo's talking about. Can't be bad. You
Came
know?
all the way from Richmond.
I came from all the way from Richmond to do it, and every day from my program after that, when I did get engaged,
Yeah.
I went in there every single day. And by the moment class started at 1, and every day I would get up, and my first thing I would do is get ready and head out to the city, and even be there early, because I knew if I stayed in Richmond, I was gonna have a lot of temptations. I was gonna have a lot of people stopping me, or no, hey, let's hang out, or hey, you got to do this, or hey, can you help me out with this? And I had to do it for me.
You had a genuine desire.
Yes.
You felt this in your heart.
Yes. I
And look
did.
at you. You're right here talking to thousands of people right now.
Hello, thousands of people. But yeah, it was great. And every day I was there, and every day I was like, hey, is it okay if I could come to the lab? Because at the time I didn't have Wi-Fi at my house. Like what we like to say, we call it Wi-Fi. But I didn't have internet, and at the time, I quit my jobs to do this program. So I went completely broke. I had no money. I lost my home afterwards. I had no backbone, no nothing. So I did it all on my own, and with the support of Leo, to actually keep going every day and keep doing it. And I just had to woke up every day and thank God for my health, for what I was doing, and to help me out throughout my path of what I wanted to do. And I know I had to go broke to conquer my dreams, to do it.
No, nothing without sacrifice. Am I right?
Exactly.
You got to be able to sacrifice.
Yes, sir.
Same thing you were talking about 3 years ago. We were talking about sacrificing to get what you want.
Right.
Same thing. and it's still the same mantra today.
Then when I listen to Mari, it just touches my heart because I remember those conversations
Yeah.
talking about, hey, you're commuting all the way from Richmond. What can we do? How do we support you? And she mentioned a couple of things that a lot of young people don't have right now. Access to technology. There's still a lot of young adults that live in the digital divide, Charles. Believe me, I've been doing this work for a long time. And 80% of the young adults across the state do not have a computer, an actual computer.
I can attest to
40% of families across California do not have access to the internet. Remember what she said earlier? She needed access to the Wi-Fi. That's what we
Sure.
call it. We call it the Wi-Fi.
that. Yeah.
And she was like coming in every day. I need access to the computer. I need access to the internet. And that's what really Deaf Mission is about, right? We have now access to a technology lab in partnership with Mission Housing Development Corporation. Young people can come as early as 10 o'clock. We even have a little lounge, Charles,
Wow.
with couches. We have snacks. We get food. We got microwave. We got all kinds of stuff because these young people get hungry.
Yeah.
But when they come, they're there learning. They're taking computers apart. They're writing code. They're working together in projects. And that's what Mari was exposed to.
So
It was
what's
like a
what's the
very...
youngest person you have in that program?
16.
16.
16.
Formative.
16.
Formative years.
Yep.
Important.
And we have some that are 24. Imagine the two age demographics working together.
I would say successfully, they could do it.
Yeah, of course they can.
You know.
They need to just know the road.
Right.
We need to connect them to that pathway.
Right.
We need to show them what that road is and what opportunities they have based on their talent. Remember what I said earlier, our mission. We're training on tap young
Wow.
adults. They have all the skills. They have the technology skills. They're the millennials. They're digital natives. They came with that technology background already. All we gotta do now is show them the ropes. This is what you're good at. You're gonna be the next web developer, the next full stack developer, front end developer, or just like Maddie,
I hear
who
you.
loved taking computers apart. She's doing that on her job right now.
You want to put your numbers out here? I just dropped my cable down here. I'm gonna pick my cable up. Get your numbers out there, okay?
So our numbers right now, we have in the program that started 4 weeks ago, 35 young people applied to the program. 25 showed up to the orientation back in June 5th of this year, and 21 showed up the first day of class. These are
Wow.
young people coming, like I say, from communities like Richmond, Oakland, San Leandro, Palo Alto, Daly City, Miss Valley. One of the young girls that spoke during the orientation, because I usually do a lot of icebreakers, Charles. I put kids on the spot all the time. Buddy knows she's laughing because I do that all the time.
Oh,
I
yes,
put young
yes.
people on the spot, like right away, stand up, introduce yourself. And they looked at me kind of funny and said, go ahead, stand up. Introduce yourself to your classmates. Let them know who you are, your name, your neighborhood, and why you're here.
You want to put your numbers out there, your contact numbers?
Sure.
How to get hold of you?
Sure, definitely we have our website, devmission.org. That's our website, devmission.org. My phone number is 415-572-3947. And our tech lab is inside Valencia Gardens on 360 Valencia Street.
Right down the street.
Right down the street. You're welcome to come by and check it out. You and Gina should take a field trip out there to see that community, get to see what's going on.
Oh, I know where that is. Right across from Local 39.
hmm Yeah, between 15 and 14.
Right, between 15 and 14.
Mhm. Yeah, that property is being owned right now by the John Stewart Foundation and the Mission Housing Development Corporation.
Mhm.
And I worked there before. I did some work out there for another program I run many years ago.
Uh-huh.
So when I decided to launch my new venture, I reach out to them and they say, come on down. You never burn your bridges, Charles. You never do.
When you say, tell these kids $50,000, $60,000 a year, and most of them can't see $10,000 or $15,000 a year, it really puts a spark in their lives. Am I right?
Correct, and that's only entry level.
That's entry level.
Correct.
Wow.
We have a young man by the name of Armand Gray. He's working right now as an Android developer. He came last week to teach a class on coding. I posted on our social media. That young man, African American, lives in Oakland, and now he's an Android developer. I'm not going to tell you his salary, but I can tell you it's a really good salary. And these young men got exposed, been working with me for a year, and recently, as a matter of fact, yesterday, started his new job as an Android developer. Just the title makes you feel like, man,
Wow.
you're developing Android mobile apps. That's what he does, and he gives back.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I know about that industry. One of my kids owns a company, internet security company, and their average check is making $120 a year.
There you go. I'm not going to say the salary for Arma, and we're not going to say Marty's salary either. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at is that we
They
need
can
to
do it.
They can do it. We
They
need
can
to
do
just
it.
tell these young people. We need to believe in them, and our methodology, our curriculum, our structure, our environment, and every young adult that walks into our lab has that sense of community, has a sense of giving back.
A sense of being is important. Am I right?
They belong there.
They belong there.
They do.
That little caption you want to put on the sign, "You belong."
You belong here. That's
You know,
what we
that's
wanna-
important
Mhm.
because psychologically that does something. It makes you want to open up and be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that puts out there, yes, I can agree with you. It says a lot. You know, physiologically and psychologically, it says a lot. When you're where you want to be or where you feel that you want to be, I'm going to tell you, I worked in a tractor factory in Texas when I was 16 for about 3 weeks, and I felt like I belonged there. It was one of the best things, and they were paying $1.65 an hour then, $1.70 an hour. You know, I thought that was so cool. And I got the feeling that, you know, I belong in this industry, and I'm still in that industry today. So what you're doing, and my point is, you're developing people for a lifetime. That's what I want to make as a point. Not just short term, but their whole lives. You know what that means to some people?
It means a lot. And that's why Mari stayed engaged with us. She knew that she had to accomplish short-term and long-term goals. If I see Mari right now, 2 years ago, I would probably still say to her, come on down. No
Wow.
matter what has happened in those 2 years, we can probably erase it, go back and do it again and again and again. Because I see every young person.
Come on down for 3 years.
I
You
see-
realize that you still got the same thing.
Mhm.
Come on down. And
Come
you
on
know
down.
what? It says a lot. You know, you're stable, and people and kids especially, they look at the stability of an individual trying to invite them in. But I can say, I know that some of the techs that work around my kids, they're making $120, $150 a year. Yeah. And that's not bad. It is foreseeable, am I right?
Mhm.
It's doable,
Mhm.
you know.
But also remember, once you make that much money, don't forget about us.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah. You know where the fundraising is coming in years from now, right, Charles, for Dev Mission?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to put that out there, but we're really what I like to.
Well, you take care of your own.
Exactly.
That's something that our society is getting away from.
Right. And you give back. You come back. You help another young person. You become a mentor. You become a volunteer. Right now, our website was built by 4 young people in our program. Christian Salas, Yaritza Perez, Frank Tito, and Yuridia Larios. 4 young people that a year ago didn't have a project. And now our website is up and running because these 4 young people came together to build a website. Imagine the power of owning that opportunity. That's what really Dev Mission is about. You want to build something? Come on down. Let me teach you how to build it, and then you take ownership of it. But at some point, you have to come back.
That gives you something in the world to strike at.
Mhm.
That makes you feel like, yes, I can do this. I'm successful, and success breeds more success. Am I right?
Yes, it does. And that's what we're trying to deliver, that message that when you graduate from the program, you come back and you stay engaged as a volunteer, as an intern. A couple of years from now, just like Mari, I haven't even asked her, but I want her to be a mentor for the current cohort.
Wow.
She came yesterday to speak to them about her job at USF. And I'm going to reach out to her pretty soon and say, hey, you want to be a mentor? Because right now, she has the ability to mentor one of our current young adults in the program. We have a young girl in a program from high school, like Balboa High School. She still don't know what to do after high school. We have a young man also, from another high school. They're still trying to figure out. And here's the gap, Charles. Computer science classes are not being offered in high schools. 80% of parents across the country want their kids to pursue a computer science major, but only 40% of high schools across the country teach computer science.
Well, you know what?
See
Let
that
me
gap?
tell you something. You're looking at something that has to be, because people like you developing and doing things. I see it growing. I see growth. The way that I'm not supposed to be political. There we go, let me do that. But I'm looking at what's happening politically. We're going to have to get in there and do more for ourselves, am I right? We
Yes,
got
we
to
do.
actually get in there and become more in tune and more in control of our lives and our destinies. That's
Make
what you're pushing.
more money because there's not going to be any programs.
Say again?
Make more money because there's not going to be any programs. for
Can you
any-
imagine right now where I'm in? A lot of people have been telling me I've been crazy. A lot of people have been telling me, I don't know what you're doing this new journey, this new program. There's no funding out there for you. And you think I'll listen to that, Charles?
You know what? Let me tell you something. I saw in your eyes when I first met you. I can. President Obama's I can, and we can.
And that's what
Am
we're
I
doing.
right?
Exactly, I seen it too. Someone that believes in you and believes in himself is all about confidence.
That's all. That's the small deal. Are you beating me up?
No! We're on camera. Be nice.
Oh, I thought she was beating me up for the people.
She's running the show. I like
Yeah,
it.
she runs the show. I call her the striker sometime. We're here. Thoughts of a Common Man in Valencia.
Reintroduce yourselves.
We're here with Leo and Marty right now, and we're gonna get them to reintroduce themselves.
You can go back.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello, I'm Leo, the Executive Director for Deaf Mission.
and I'm Mari Medrano, IT field technician for USF.
Wow.
Short, sweet, simple.
Lovely.
I think you're gonna go places.
Thank you, I believe so too.
Seriously.
Thank you.
You're starting young. By the time you're 40 years old, you should be a billionaire.
That's the plan, hopefully.
They used to say millionaires were out of touch. Remember that old saying? Oh God, you're a millionaire. A damn house costs $1 million now.
Nowadays, that is very true.
So it's not millionaire no more. It's not. It's billionaire. And it's good to see the minority community come up and this stuff. And get out here and do it. Where do you aspire to go from here?
I am inspired to continue my education and potentially get my BA and my bachelor's, as well as my master's, hopefully. And that's a lot of studying, but I am very excited and
You can
motivated
do it.
to do it. Yes.
You can do it. You got that gleam, that thing in your eye that says, yes, I'm on my way.
Thank you.
And this is what we like to see in young people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you say that, because coming from where I came from as well and growing up with a lot of people, I try to motivate my circle so much. Even people that I don't know, didn't know, went to school with, had any communication with or connections with. I'm like, man, what are you doing with your life? Are you comfortable with what you're doing? Do you like your job? Life's too short to do a crappy job that you don't like doing, or doing it for people that don't appreciate you, a company that doesn't
Yes.
appreciate you completely
Yes.
at all, or isn't lenient for you if you're having a family emergency, or if you even want to go have fun or something. They're not there for you, and I try to motivate a lot of people. Like I said, like I knew, and people that I didn't know.
So what was the success rate of you trying to do these people?
I have one success. I have one
Out of
person.
how many people?
Out of, I would say hundreds of people that I try to reach out to, personal friends, relationship, and everything. Relationships.
But you're a
and
good
connections.
example.
Yes, I always try to motivate people. I'm always like, what are you doing? Or people ask me how I got where I got, or what am I doing? They're always like, you're so active. How do you get to be so active in your life and do so many different things? I'm out there. I try to bring on the good energy.
You're
and
not
bring,
afraid of the challenge,
I
are
am
you?
not. I am not. I bring it on. I bring
No?
on the challenge. I love a challenge. So I'm Latina, so if we want to argue, we could argue. But it's in a positive way, because I like to hear everyone's opinion. I always try to soak up knowledge, because it's not free.
I don't know how many
Knowledge
people you
is
got
not free.
one.
I got one, and that was my best friend. And that was Leslie Conjura. She's probably listening right now. And one person that really, really did believe of what I was speaking to her, she's seen it, and she's like, hey, you know what? I'm down. I'm going to do this too with you. So we can both be successful. I want to be successful as well. And it was just one person out of everyone else. And everyone else that I have reached out to, they see me, and they see me doing my thing, and they're still stuck doing their thing that they were doing a few years back.
I'm going to throw something at you, okay?
Go ahead.
What is it that makes people do not want to excel?
I want to say that they're very comfortable and very scared to take the sacrifices to do something for themselves. Like I said, if they had a job, they're making money for the big fish, not for the little fish, and they're not interested in you. And that's the thing, you have to work for yourself. It's easy to go work an 8-hour job and go home and say, I'm tired. It's not easy to work an 8-hour job and then continue on your ambitions and goals afterwards. To work towards for you. To have things going for yourself. And I think that was my motivation there. I didn't graduate with my class in high school. It was unfortunate. Things happened and went left. I had a lot of family emergency, also personal emergencies, and it was just wasn't possible for me. But I made sure I was actually working 3 jobs. And
Whoa. Let's back up here. Let's punt regroup again.
Mhm.
How many jobs?
I was working 3 jobs. I was working from 4 a.m. All the way till 6 o'clock, and I actually had to cut my hours at night to tell my boss, like, hey, I'm going to night school. And from 6 o'clock to 9:15, I was in night school, in adult school, to get my diploma. And it was my high school diploma, not my GED. And I got it, just to walk that stage, and it felt so good.
Made you want to walk on air, didn't it?
Yes, it did. From there on, I knew anything that I wanted to do in life, I can get it.
You know what the statistics about that is?
No, I
Only
know.
31% of Latinos and people of the black community have a high school diploma. 31%. And you know, check the national average, you'll see I'm telling you the truth. The dropout rate of boys in both communities, in the minority communities, is 56%. That's high.
Yeah, that is very high. That's very high.
You know, they have no idea of reality of where they're going in life. You know, they have no idea of the impact it's going to have on them 10 years down the line. You know, and I there's a little guy that works construction for Caltrans, and I was talking to him the other day. He's 31, he just got a high school diploma. He said, and they offered him a job. 31.
Yeah.
Late, but you know what? Do it.
Yep.
That is the whole thing. I was in Vietnam, and there was something I saw in a Buddhist temple, and I always say this. There was a captain, it was in English, and it said, there are those of us who live the challenge life, and then there are those of us who live and let life challenge us. And it says, lo, I'm a challenger, my days may be short, they're oh so sweet. You know, and this is something about life itself. You know, challenging life. You may not make a long time of it, more or so of ever you do, but while you're successful, be successful. Am I right? And you're looking at a whole lot of history coming in front of you, like fair. You know, you're looking at a whole lot of history coming in front. You make history, and you're still going. 3 years, still going. What motivates you?
Mighty. All the young people that come to our program. That's when I get up in the morning, I see my wife, I see my kids, and I leave home and come to another home. And I see these young people that might not have father figures. Some of these young people are homeless. Some of these young people don't have $1 in their pocket. Some of these young people don't have a high school diploma. some of these young people have a record, have a background. You think I care about that, Charles? No. All I care is the first day you step into our door. As soon as you walk in that door and you receive a greeting from myself, a big smile, shake hand, and you see the environment, that's when your clock begins. Whatever happened in the past, I'm not going to ask you about it. What matters to me is the day you put your foot on the door, and that's the first step that you're taking to your technology journey. After that, if you decide to leave, don't worry about it. You'll come back. We talk about Jordan Wood during the break.
Okay.
Jordan Wood called me back on Friday. Said, Leo, I need help. I said, come on down. You know where we are. You got my number. That's when the clock begins for every young adult, primarily from underserved community. The first day they meet me, that's when the clock begins. And that clock is going to continue to roll until they become successful and they come back to give back to other young people that are sitting on that chair just like mine. Because she's doing that. She brought Leslie Canjuda to the program. And I remember that meeting. You brought her in and said, this is my friend Leslie. She wants to be in Deaf Mission. And I said, all right, let's have a conversation. And not let Maddie be in that conversation. Because I knew that Maddie and Leslie go way back. I could tell right away. And Leslie's in our program. She's listening right now. I know she's having a big smile because I'm slacking her on our channel. So she's listening, she's tuned in. But Leslie, it's going to be Maddie's pupil at some point, right? She's going to be the next Maddie. But Leslie now has to take ownership. She also commutes from Richmond, Charles. Every day, she's
Leo,
making that journey.
the girls are outpacing the boys.
I told you that from the get-go.
Huh?
I told you that from the get-go.
I know. The girls are outpacing the boys. What will you envision doing to spur the boys up, to get them in here and get them off the corner? They get so
Get them
comfortable
in
on the
there.
corner.
There's really, really a lot of pretty girls in the program. Wink, wink. Maybe that motivates them to give it a shot at least to
No.
come to Dev Mission. and
That's
see
not
what
going to
we're
motivate them. You know what's going to motivate them?
What?
To give back.
to give back.
They have to. Because young people,
That's
young
just
men,
of being a human.
it's
being.
hard. It's
Yeah.
hard for them. Like girls, hey, we're going to do this. Okay. Like 2 weeks ago, we went to an event at LinkedIn. I had like 3 girls ready to go to do outreach. Tomorrow, we're going to be at Mission House School promoting for their job fair. I got 2 girls lined up. So I'm like, boys, you got to step it up. Because what's going to happen is you're not going to have that opportunity if you don't come out of yourself. Don't be so proud. Don't be so like, oh, no. Just be humble and be like, okay, I'm a sponge. Leo, show me the ropes. And I want to be working next to Mari, Leslie, Melanie, Angelica, Nancy. Those are the girls in the program. Elisa, Sudi, Yaritza. I can go on and on. These are young girls that didn't have an opportunity before. Now they do. And they're going to step it up. And the boys, hey guys, got to catch up.
Well,
Yeah,
you know what?
they'll be successful, making good money, and they're gonna just be like, "You're a loser." Right.
You didn't hear that from me. But it's the reality. I mean, I even tell
I
these
know.
young men, like one day you're going to have to report to a CEO who's a female. Can you handle that?
No, they can't.
Well, then we need to train them. That's what I do.
They can't handle
Well,
that.
I'm going to make sure that they come all the way down to their bottom, if you want to call it, and respect women.
Do you know how many guys out there, and I talk to young men all the time, I'm almost every day. Do you know that jealousy, is that a good word?
I think it's competition.
Competition.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't seem to understand that women are outpacing them. When they do get to the point where I say, well, hey, the girls are doing it better than the boys. You know, well, you know what, they do this, and they find all these excuses, am I right? They can find a million excuses not to even come to the table.
It's an ego thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they need to think about. Some of them have families already. You want to see the mother of your children out there having to do it all herself. You need to stand up and help.
And that's another challenge, right? We have some single moms in that program. And they're really struggling, but they're there. So for me, I treat everyone equal. Once you walk into that door, you're all the same. But if I see some young girls like putting themselves out there, doing the extra mile, I'm going to connect them to those opportunities. Because for me, it's all about showing up, Charles. If you want to be at a corporate site visit, you want to get a mentor, you want to be exposed to opportunities, you have to show up and you have to be hungry about it. And the girls, with all due respect, they're hustlers. They like to do that. They like to be out there. They like to see these opportunities. Like Marty's like, Leo, what are we doing this summer? Where am I going? Okay, we're going to Google. Oh, I want to go there. We're going to Pinterest. I want to go there. We're going to LinkedIn. I want to go there. Right? So you see that. So if they tell me I want to be there, all I got to do is, all right, come on down.
Well, you know, it's not that easy with the boys. Again, you know, ego is one of the things. You know, the other thing I see that the girls seem to have a lot more inner faith and consciousness than the guys. If we could ever develop that, and fear, they don't like talking about fear. I said something to a bunch of them one day about a month ago, standing at the store on West Street. I said, well, what are you guys fearing? Why are you out here? Woo, my God, when I said fear, the whole corner, I mean, it was like all 8, 10 of them out there selling their little stuff. You got, what do you mean? I don't fear nothing. I have a gun and I have this. You know, what is it about that false sense of security that the younger women are running with and the younger men are not?
Mm-hmm. And they're very talented. They got
They're very
technology
talented.
skills. I mean, like Marty, I remember her writing her first line of code. She went crazy. The first time she took a MacBook apart, she went nuts. And now she's like posting on Snapchat where she does at work, like taking the MacBooks apart and ghosting images and taking hard drives apart. And I'm like, man, that's what you're doing. That's what we want. We want to get these young people, regardless if they're males or females, exposed to those opportunities. If I tell you, Charles, I've been working probably with close to about 3,000 young people throughout my history. I would say
Wow.
about 3,000.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of young people,
lot
from
of young
high
people.
school
Yeah.
to college, young adults in different communities across the country. And I can tell you right now, I can only count the ones that really stay engaged. And it's a number.
That's a sad phenomenon. That's very sad.
Right. I mean, the previous program, I enrolled 150 young people, 138 graduated, 101 got jobs in the tech industry. You want to know how many are working with me at Deaf Mission?
Yeah.
8. See what
Wow.
I'm talking about? So if you really believe in what we did for you, if you really care on what we did for you,
Wow.
you should be giving back. You should be coming back and helping other young people because we gave you that opportunity.
I hear you.
But now you're becoming selfish. And that's a challenge with our young adults. Once they get to the $50,000, $60,000 job, they forget about Leo. Just like that song from Drake. It's true. And I'm okay with that, Charles. Because you know why? I got another army coming in. And this army is going to give back. Right now, we're seeing the results with Deaf Mission. Like, I have young people right now volunteering. I got young people right now at this minute teaching middle schoolers at Buena Vista Horsemen. There are volunteers and interns because they believe that these middle schoolers are going to be the next generation of tech talent. That's our tagline.
You know, in Japan, wherever I've gone in the world, and I've been in 23 countries, in and out, but I always notice that they start education very early, and we don't.
Right. When we talk about computer science, the
But
schools
this is
don't
where we
teach
lose
that.
a lot of people in, am I right?
Why do you think we're teaching now coding with Jamestown this summer school? Why? Because the school district doesn't have the ability to teach computer science. The teachers don't want to spend time learning coding or STEM. And that's a challenge. So that's where Deaf Mission can come in. That's where we can potentially close the gap. Training the next ed techs. That's what we call them, the ed techs. That's
Well, how much of an investment in these people do you think you have once the program's over?
I never thought about that question, Charles.
I figure I'll lay that one on you.
You know, I think that Maddie's a perfect example of that investment. Because if I text Maddie, she'll do it. And if Maddie needs something, she'll text me. And I'll say, come on down. Let's figure it out together. And that investment doesn't have a price, does not have a salary. And that investment is a sense of responsibility to help you and you help the organization. And that's going to be the challenge.
My point is when you invest in somebody's life, is the point. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good, but I know there's still more to do. You think I'm down with Mario? Of course not.
So, in the 3 years that I've known you, you have all these people behind you. How many people do you have actually right there with you right now?
Probably 8. And then we have a network of partners. We have folks from the tech industry that are believing in this journey. If you go to our website, you're going to see their names there. Folks from Uber, folks from Dropbox, folks from Google, folks that really care about this young adults. And they are right now on my corner saying, Leo, let's figure out. And that's okay with me. And I know that a lot of people out there are going to be a little bit anxious that I'm working with Uber, that I'm working with Dropbox, that I'm working with Google. But at the end of the day, I see those engineers coming down to Valencia Gardens every Thursday helping young people. These engineers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if you want to call it,
Sure.
they forget for 1 minute when they come down to Valencia Gardens and help someone like Mari, because you know your mentor,
Yes.
Abraham Velasquez, he's at
Yes.
Dropbox.
Yes, he is.
He's an engineer that makes a lot of money. But Mari can tell you, that's her mentor. And every time Abraham was there to tell you what to do, how to navigate the tech industry, he did that. And that's exciting. I might have 3,000 people that I mentor, but now I have an army of technologists that care about our work. And for me, that's the bigger opportunity.
I'll throw one at you, okay?
Throw it.
Homeless people. They seem to have a zeal. They seem to have that drive. Yet they have nothing. And somebody who has everything does not have that. So how do you correlate the two and meld the two to get both of those people moving in the same direction?
Well, we don't turn nobody away, Charles. We open the doors. I have a homeless young man right now in a program from Larkin Youth Center.
That's what I was looking for.
He's there. He's in the program. He's having a challenge, but he's there. Remember the challenges that Maddie spoke about earlier and you mentioned to her? Those are just simple obstacles. Let me show you how to navigate the system. In San Francisco, if you are ages 16 to 24, there's a lot of funding for you. There's a lot of benefits for you. You need to find those benefits, and we can help you find those benefits from CalFresh, from, transportation, Lifeline, all these different services. San Francisco is one of the most amazing cities in the country that has all these benefits. Get those benefits, get your education together, get yourself on track, and you'll be all right.
Thoughts of a Common Man with Charles Achille Williams on Radio Valencia, the sounds of the mission.
And we're back again, and we're right here with Leo Sosa and Maddie. And we're going to tell you something. This is a good interview because this is going to tell a lot of you and a lot of people who've been asking me questions about who do I have, what do I have, and do I have anybody who can help them. If you listen, this guy Leo Sosa, he is out there doing it to it. Mission, Dev Mission is called. And it's in Valencia Gardens. Right there on, what's that, 15, 16?
Between 15 and 14.
14 and 15 on Mission. Oh, let's do your pitch, okay, for some money. Because you know what? Nothing is really free. You need some support.
Yes, we do. The program is free for any young adult ages 16 to 24.
That's a gift.
I'm trying.
That's what I call the gift of life.
Because the skills, the curriculum, the methodology, the ecosystem that we have developed, it's for them.
Right.
And for me, every young adult out there that's listening right now, you need to start paying attention that education and employment skills in San Francisco are free. You need to find those. It could be challenging in the education avenue, but you can still find scholarships. You can still find programs that provide subsidized employment dollars. You need to make that happen. But that's just like the front end, Charles. The back end, it's the grants, the support. We need sponsors. We need grants. We need mentors. We need volunteers. We need every listener out there to potentially support our mission. And if we believe in this mission that we're training any young adult ages 16 to 24 for careers in tech, that could be your son, that could be your nephew, that could be just your relative, that could be just that young boy that's just playing basketball right now inside any community, or playing soccer, or just going to school. If you believe in young people in this country, in this city, in any community like the Mission, the Bayview, or Peace Valley, you need to support Deaf Mission. Why? Because there's no way we're going to continue to generate the next talent by just one community. We need Deaf Mission in every community in San Francisco.
You're talking about
and beyond.
quality education, am I right? Quality, not quantity, but quality.
Quality education, post-secondary opportunities, and employment pathways.
Good stuff.
That's what we're looking for to create with Deaf Mission. So anybody out there, if you're interested, visit our website, deafmission.org. We also have a Get Involved page where we also bring volunteers, we bring mentors. You just want to come check out our space.
So why don't you tell all those guys out there to bring a couple of friends with them, am I right?
They can do that, just like Mari did. She brought her friend to the program.
Correct. And I also want to piggyback on about education. Education is not free. You have to pay attention. And I say that with the emphasis so big. You have to pay attention and soak up all the knowledge from the OGs to the younger generation, from even your peers, all the way around you. I think we can all learn from other people's lives, and you just have to pay attention. It's not free. You just have to soak yourself up with quality education and knowledge.
One of the things I like to see, and I like to hear what you guys are saying, is that, you know, if you invest in something, you're going to get a threefold return.
Yes.
If you can convince people of that, you'd have a lot of people out there behind. Because you know what? There's what I call misplaced stuff in people's lives, you know. We buy cars, we buy jewelry, you know. On the street you see cars and jewelry. I saw a 67 Chevrolet Impala yesterday. Guy spent $40,000 on it, and he's a janitor. That didn't make any sense to me. $40,000 and he's a janitor. I don't understand. You know, we need to change that, turn that around. Because if he put 2 years or 3 years into an education, he can buy 100 cars like that. You know, that's my analogy of it. You know, but there's something in that mind that says no. Am I right?
Well, I think also we have to pay attention to what the lack of opportunities are in underserved communities. And primarily in San Francisco, I've been doing a lot of work in underserved communities, primarily affordable housing, and I see those challenges out there. And I still believe that there's a lot of opportunities for them. There still need to be exposed to programs like Deaf Mission, but also it comes from like the family values and the culture and how to adjust yourself to that environment. And it's not easy. Again, I just believe since I came to this country, primarily San Francisco, I have received a lot of benefits from this wonderful city. And now I'm just trying to give back to the communities that helped me and gave me
There's
that
a lot of
opportunity.
stuff here, am I right?
There's a lot.
There's a whole lot.
Well, we're in the Silicon Valley. We're in the heart. I mean, Salesforce Tower is being developed in downtown right now.
Right.
Just imagine how many jobs you need to have by becoming a Salesforce Admin 201 certified. You can probably make $70,000 if you get that certification and you work with Salesforce. So again,
Wow.
how do we prepare these young people to see those opportunities with the talent they possess?
They're saying there's going to be something like 6,000 people in that building.
Probably more.
6,000 to 9,000.
Probably because remember they got 2 buildings.
Right.
But really, that's the idea, right? So how do we continue to help our young adults, primarily from underserved communities, to get access to that? Because they need to believe they have the opportunity. Every time I go to a corporate site visit, Charles, I see these young people amazed, overwhelmed, and they still don't believe they can be sitting next door leading a team. They don't believe in themselves creating a website or being part of like a project. So we need to help them understand that that's just the process.
Believing is a big problem. It's the transition problem. Am I right?
It is. And Mari's a perfect example of what she believed.
Yeah.
She looked at that email, and here she is.
Correct.
And I went to see her last Friday at her job.
Correct. Yeah. I think a lot of people, for myself, I guess I never really thought that I would come this far or even do as much as Leo has exposed me to do. But he made it happen, and he motivates everyone, you know, and he just opens doors for you, and you just get that feel. Like I said, I just never thought I would be doing. I have my own webpage now. I know a little bit of coding. I do hardware now. I mean, I never thought I would ever have that, be exposed to any of that. Little old me, you know, I had no experience with any of it at all. I just have an individual that believed in me and believed in the youth and made it happen, gave us a space, and just put all the tools in your hands, and from there on you just take on, and I think that was just perfect for me.
I even brought Mari to a funding meeting with another partner, Home ESF.
Yeah, that was also a great exposure right there. I was like, you know,
So
this
this
is great.
is what makes people grow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is, you know, when they're around people that are growing.
Yeah, also
And this
that
is
are
the
doing-
problem: getting them out of the barrio and the ghetto.
Yep.
Getting them off the street corners, from behind the theater, you know, wherever they are.
Mhm.
This is the cliche that if you got that chemistry, I think you can say that you could have a full
It's the
house.
mojo. Well, Mary just said it. How far did she have to go? It's like 11th and Mission. We jump on the bus. We went down there. It didn't take like, oh, we're going to Silicon Valley. We're going to Google out there in Mountain View. No, we just stay here in the Mission, right? So we need these young people to see themselves being the next Mari, the next Leslie, the next Jaritza, the next Suri, Emmanuel, and I can go on and on. They need to see themselves. And when they walk into the lab at 360, they see these alumni right there working on the special projects, right? And they're like, what are they doing? Oh, well, you can be there. Finish
Well,
your
it's
for
all
12
in
weeks.
believing.
Finish your 12 weeks, then we'll talk.
It's all in believing.
Yeah, you only have to believe in yourself, and to me, I think that's the. If you want to motivate yourself, you believe yourself, you can do it yourself, and be successful for yourself. I mean, that's yourself is your best investment.
Look at the camera and say that.
Your best investment is always going to be yourself.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. And thank you again for having me.
The Charles the Chief Waves. On radio, Valencia. The sounds of the world.
And we're back again. Woo! This time, oh my God, 11:37. Time is flying.
Yeah. Good
We can talk all
conversation.
day. Yes, we can talk all day about the success
Let's
stories.
talk about people committing themselves to your program. Okay.
Sure.
And actually supporting you.
Mhm.
You know, and coming there and giving you some money.
Yeah, that's the big ask, right?
Yeah.
So we have some tech companies behind us. We do have a few technologists that are working with our advisory board. And we have put together an advisory board to help me develop the model, develop the infrastructure of the nonprofit, to identify
These are
the
business
funding streams.
people.
These are folks that work in the tech industry, yes.
That's good stuff.
Yes, it is. If you go to our website, you're going to see them there. They're on our About Us page. And we have folks from Dropbox, Uber, Google, Latino Startup Foundation. We have folks from Bank of America. We also have young people in our advisory board. Because I always love to listen to young people. If somebody says, Leo, we need waffles. Okay, we get waffles. Leo, we need snacks. I'll get snacks. Leo, I need a couch. I'll get your couch. Leo, I need the Wi-Fi. I'll get your Wi-Fi. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? So you have to balance it out, because at the end of the day, our program will not be here because of the young people that walk into the doors. So I need to listen to them, and sometimes that's hard, Charles, because I have to deliver our outcomes. I have to be in front of funders. Like 2 weeks ago, I was in front of Autodesk. And I brought another young man to that meeting. I usually bring young people to a funder meeting, because I can talk about the program all day long, but when they hear somebody like Mari, that's a stamp. So we went into Autodesk and we talked about potentially funding coming into our program, and Autodesk says verbally, we're going to work with you. So right now we have verbal agreements from tech companies that want to support our work. And hopefully one day we'll come back here with one of those funders and you can find out from their end why they believe in their mission, why they believe in our work. And I believe that's going to be a great opportunity for you to hear from folks in the tech industry that are giving back. Because there is a lot of folks in the tech industry that love to give back. It's part of their DNA. They love helping underserved communities.
You know, I'm looking at this stuff here, and tell me something. We are the best new practice technology training program that teaches untapped young adults 16 to 24 technology skills in the hardware, coding, and critical skills. Pilot program starts June 5th. When you open 5th of June.
That's what we did. That's what we started.
Wow. So when you start, how often do you start a class?
We have 3 cohorts. We are right now in the summer cohort that started June 5th. That program ends August 17th.
Yeah.
It's 10 weeks because of the summer. And after that program, we're ramping up for the fall. And during the middle of the fall, we're ramping up for the spring of next year.
So this is approximately 144 hours.
It's about 144 hours, and that's not counting the extra activities, the open lab, the corporate site visits, the mentor, the volunteer opportunity. So we're looking at about close to 300 hours of investment from these young people to stay engaged in the program. It's every day for 4 hours a day.
Wow.
I know you're going crazy with the website, which, by the way, was designed by some of the young people in our
You
program.
have to be joking.
No, I'm not.
This is beautiful.
Look at the bottom of the page.
This is beautiful.
If you look all the way at the bottom.
All of this.
Almost as beautiful as ours. Looks like
Well, you know, that mission can generate and create a website for you guys.
I do
Overview.
that website.
Your overview. Who wrote the overview?
The young people that are part of the program, those 4 young people at the bottom of the page, Christian, Yaritza, Frank, and Yuridia.
This is very professional.
It is.
Yes.
We're creating the next generation of tech talent, Charles.
Wow.
That's our tagline. Look at it. It's right
I'm
there.
looking at it right now. I mean, the graphics are so nice.
Look at the navigation. If you go to the About Us page, you will see all the folks that are engaged in that program.
Wow.
And it's clean. You can read it without your glasses. Yeah, it's lovely.
Wait a minute.
Remember how we started the show? That we're creating opportunities for the young people in that program?
So
Can you imagine these young people advertising on their LinkedIn profiles? This is a project they built. Now you have a tech company out there that see their talent. They can just look at the code, because we also dump our code on a program called GitHub where people can access our code, and they can see their code. They can see what they write. And that's the talent. Those are lines of code.
Wow.
A lot of hours of code, Charles. I work with this team even in the middle of the night. And I know hopefully they're listening. Christian, Yaritza, Frank, and Yuridia, they were working with me in the middle of the night. They were leading this effort also with Abraham, who works at Dropbox. And they were just cranking code, Charles, and going back and forth. What about the colors? What about the shape? What about the icons? What about the language? What about this? What about that? Look what we created.
Yeah.
Young
Looking at
people
it.
from underserved communities have developed this website.
Unbelievable.
That's the untapped talent.
I would have never thought young people could do this. Not being negative, okay?
They can do more than this, Charles.
They can do more than this. But this
They're
is,
innovators. They build things. They create.
the problem is getting them started, getting them focused. Am I right?
Correct. I do believe that is. Like I mentioned earlier, the best investment is to believe in yourself.
Well, it also takes a level of maturity and discipline.
I would say that too. Coming from where I came from and growing up and having such a hard life, I think that was motivation enough for myself to go and get it and get a better life. Quite honestly, I witnessed and lived through a lot of struggles, but quite honestly, I never let it knock me down. I just kept getting back up and fighting back. That's what we are. You know, we had to fight back.
Yeah.
And technology is the avenue, Charles. You tell young people they can create things, they're like, oh, can I? Of course you can. I'm on the bus sometimes and I see these young people on Snapchat and I'm like, you know how to build that? And they're like, no. Why don't you come down and learn? And they looked at me kind of funny, like, can I learn this? And I'm like, of course you can.
In early 2017, Dev Mission was founded by Leonardo Sosa and a team of technologists that care about STEM opportunities for untapped young adults. Our goal is to connect the most overlooked population in San Francisco. That is the cliche, the overlooked. Am I right?
You got it. That's
Yes.
why it's on the website.
I'm looking at
Nailed
this
it.
thing. Boom.
We out of here.
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people as well that in this generation there's a lot of people that don't want to listen to young adults or young people. Period. You know, the upcoming generation's full of ignorance and probably a lot of negative talk for the young people coming up, and that's the problem. They don't want to listen to what we need, what it is that we need to be successful. We need a lot of more people to be supportive to be successful, like what Leo's doing right now for us. I mean, he's great. He's awesome. I still, anytime I have any good news, I call him like, hey Leo, guess what? I mean, I call him before anybody. Like, he's such a motivator. I've had hard days, even when I'm crying, and I call him. He's like, it's okay. You know who you are. You know, you're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this, and it's good. Everything is gonna go the path it has to go.
Right.
Something is better coming. And I remember going into an interview and I was crying and I was like, no, I'm not gonna get the job. I'm not gonna get the job. And Leo was like, okay, well, this was your practice interview. You really wanted that? If they don't give it to you, that's fine. You're gonna get something better. Yeah, you're gonna get something better. You're gonna go twice as hard to get the skills you need, and you're gonna get the next one. And that's exactly what happened. And I'm very excited that he motivated me and it didn't knock me down, because there was times that I felt like giving up. I didn't have the funds. I didn't have a place to go. I didn't have BART money. I didn't have a car. I mean, there were so many obstacles completely for me, and I still did it.
So now that you've overcome all of the obstacles, how do you feel?
I feel great.
And what would you tell somebody who's going through the obstacle course right now?
Pay attention to knowledge, soak up knowledge, and believe in yourself.
Yeah, they
Dang,
can do the
girl.
same thing.
Yeah.
You picked a good one here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Like I
I told Gina yesterday I'm bringing somebody, and Gina went nuts. I'm gonna read the message in a couple of minutes because she just said it with a really nice wording, and I was like, I believe Maddie's gonna overwhelm the audience, and she's doing it, and
Yeah.
that's really what it's all about.
You're a good speaker.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, anyone can go to work for 8 hours and go home and be tired.
Wow.
After that, you need to work on yourself. You need to work on your goals, your personal goals, your life goals. For my motivation was my struggle, and my parents, and both my parents are immigrants. My father doesn't live in the country anymore, and that was motivation for me right there. You know, I need to make my last seed of my family count. You know, all our families, we didn't have any successful stories in my family. It was really hard growing up in the 80s and the 90s. Growing up for me, it was really hard. I had one of my best friends pass away pretty recently, and it crushed me completely down. And I remember having those conversations with Leo, like, I don't feel like going today. I don't feel like, doing this job anymore. I mean, I felt completely knocked out after that. But I just kept thinking, my friend would have loved seeing me do this. He always motivated me to. Like, it's like, you always have this sparkle when you talk about what you do. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. But that's my biggest motivation to people. Anyone that you work 8 hours, that's fine. I understand sometimes it is hard to just quit a job and actually go into something that you really, really do want to do. I went from working several jobs to, you know what, this is not for me. I saved up money, was smart about it, invested in myself, quit those
Says the
jobs.
magic word right there. Save.
Saved money and invested in myself.
Right.
In myself. And after that, I was able to be like, you know what, thank you for this great opportunity. Like Leo says, we never break bridges. Thank you for this opportunity, but I'm moving on. I want more. I want to level up in my life. So I think that's what it is all about. And I invested in myself and went through this program. I lost my home. I didn't have money too much, but I had just enough to get me to where I need to go, to be where I need to be. And I think that's great right there. It was definitely, and I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it without Leo and the support and everything. I mean, there's times that I was hungry and Leo's like, hey, you know what? Here, go ahead. You know, bring food for all of us. You know, go get sandwiches for all of us. And it's just, it wasn't also about the cohort. It wasn't like we were just individuals in the cohort. We were more like family. And I'm
See,
quoting.
this is the thing. This is the one thing that I'm listening to. You know, it's a family environment.
Mhm.
This is the one thing. Living on the street myself for years, this is the one thing that people look for, that familia. They look for
Familia.
that family atmosphere. This is how gangs attract our young people. So if we can get them to go to this side of the coin, then we're doing right. Am I right?
Yes, you are, and that's what happened with Maddie and her colleagues. I mean, they all came together. I remember going to Costco and buying pizza or getting sandwiches and working hard. Because I
Yeah.
also believe that you work hard, you play hard.
Yeah.
And there were days like, Leo, what are we eating? We're going to have sandwiches or waffles or pizza or snacks or whatever it was. Because for me, growing up in this country, I didn't have an opportunity like this. When I came to this country back in 1985, I didn't have an opportunity like this. And I always go back to that. It's a sense of community, it's a sense of family. And even with the current cohort right now, we have 4 weeks into the program. And we already seen some young people developing bond between each other. Like they're working together. There's still some that are still trying to figure out, but the others that are really jumping on this, team building opportunity, and they know they need to network, they need to go out there and collaborate. So that's kind of what Mari also got exposed to, right? Which is the soft skills that we teach. We call it critical career skills, and that's important. Because you can teach someone the tech skills. You can be the greatest geek out there. But if you don't know how to work with people, you're toast.
Right.
You can be the greatest
That is the
coder.
biggest downfall of a lot of people, isn't it?
That's what happens with the tech industry. If you don't bring those two at the same level,
Right.
you're not going to make it out there.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to teach, right? The interpersonal piece and the tech skills. And when you match those two,
Interpersonal peace. Put that in perspective. Interpersonal peace.
Yeah, and I see within the technology programs now, they're teaching them communication because they see how important that is. You can't just be stuck in the corner doing whatever. You have to know how to communicate.
right, because what's going to happen, Gina, is they're going to call you and say, we're going to a whiteboard session. Okay, you got to sit there and listen and give feedback, and they'll probably pick your brain about an idea, and you need to be a team member. You're not going to be like, oh, this is my app. No, it's not. This is everyone's app. This website that you see also was put together by these young people that had to come together from different backgrounds, and look at the result. Look how beautiful this website is. I'm proud to say that we created something in-house. I didn't have to pay thousands of dollars. If I had the money, I would pay these young people what they deserve. But they said to me, Leo, don't worry about it. We know you're starting your nonprofit.
This is nice.
We're going to create it for you.
This is
Okay,
so
this is what we
nice.
use right now.
Put your numbers out there again. We're getting short on time.
So 360 Valencia, we're between 15 and 14 inside Valencia Gardens. We're open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Any young person out there ages 16 to 24 that want to learn coding, hardware skills, or critical career skills, come on down. We're recruiting for the fall cohort that starts September 25th. So I'm already doing outreach because that's what I do. And if you just want to come out and check out our program, just don't be shy. Come on down. We always look for volunteers and mentors. My phone number is 415-572-3947. And my email is leo@devmission.org.
And if you want to donate to the whole thing,
You can go to our page on the Get Involved page and donate.
beautiful page.
And Leo, I think we need to get your phone number one more time.
415-572-3947.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, next week we're going to have Mission app, right?
Well, hopefully.
You can go on your phone and just,
Yeah, you can apply online. If you're a young person, you can even go to our website and apply on the website to be part of our program. So clearly we want to create those opportunities. But on behalf of every young person out there that has been participating in the program, or any young person that I had the pleasure to mentor, we want to thank you, Charles and Gina, for having us today.
You guys are smashing.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. And I know the next time I probably talk to you, you probably have a whole nother division. She'll be like in your position and you're doing something else.
Well, that's the goal.
I'm looking at the fact that you're looking for volunteers.
Yes, we are. We always look for volunteers to come and help. You can go to the website,
I'm looking
go to the
at-
Get Involved, sign up.
Yep.
We look for mentors, volunteers, or anybody that just want to come in and share the knowledge with us. We have an open door policy. You walk into the doors and we offer you a bottle of water and an apple and a pastry.
All right. Well, keep in touch and let us know what else is going on.
We'll definitely see you at the graduation. You both have been invited. Our graduation is August 17th inside Valencia Gardens. If anybody out there
That's the
wants to
doer.
come out to see the culmination of the summer cohort, it's at 5 o'clock on August 17th inside Valencia Gardens. But all the information will be on our website. Visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. We have all of our social media platforms right now sharing
Yeah, you got it
all
pretty
the
well
work we're
covered.
doing.
Pretty well covered. Good program.
Yeah, tell everybody to check us out on GossipBecomingMan.net. We'll have your photos, video, podcast, everything up. If they missed it or only heard part of it. And yeah, we gotta get out of here. So that's a wrap, and we'll see you next week.
See you
All
next
right,
week.
Dev Mission.
Amen.